Senior White House correspondent Ed O'Keefe joins me now from the White House. Ed, let me play for you some sound from the president today. Again, he used the word excursion to talk about the war with Iran. Please listen.
We had to do a little excursion, if you don't mind. A little excursion to take care of nuclear weaponry in the hands of maniacs. But other than that, in a couple of weeks, and won't be much longer, it's moving along fast. We're way ahead of schedule. Did you know that, Mr. Speaker? I'm trying to save a lot of money by being ahead of schedule.
Well, there we have it, Ed. A couple of weeks. That seems to me, at least for the moment, some specificity from the president about duration.
Well, and they had said 4 to 5 weeks, right? So we're about halfway, a little under halfway through that. But the fact that he now says weeks and that he's canceling postponing his trip to China, which was supposed to start March 31st, is a signal that they're trying to leave some breathing room there in the event it continues. So, you know, an interesting series of pronouncements again today, defending and explaining his decision to do this, reiterating that while he's asked many other countries to participate in securing the Strait of Hormuz, if they don't come along, the United States will figure it out, and spent a great amount of time in his meeting with the Irish Taoiseach, the head of the Irish government, that NATO and its viability is being questioned again by him if countries that are members of that alliance don't step up and assist. But remember, NATO, as conceived, is designed to deal with things north of the Middle East, chiefly Russia, the North Atlantic, not necessarily the Middle East. And you've seen several European leaders in the last few days say, if you need to build some kind of coalition to deal with this situation, NATO is not the vehicle. You'll have to come up with a new one. And the British and others have said, we'll look into whether or not it makes sense to be part of this. Other countries, especially in Asia, that rely much more on the petroleum coming from that part of the world, have said, we're looking into it. We haven't necessarily been formally asked. Remember, the Japanese are coming. The Prime Minister's coming later this week. Don't be surprised if we hear about some kind of commitment from her there. But excursion is an interesting choice of words, is it not, Major? Not war, not incursion, but excursion, trying to minimize in the minds of his coalition that's most skeptical of this, Tucker Carlson and others, as the senator mentioned, suggesting that this is merely something that's going to go on just a few weeks more and we'll move on. We'll see.
And very quickly, Ed, yesterday the president was bidding for those to join us, allies now saying we don't need you, and also just to square the circle here, NATO is a defensive alliance. It is not an offensive alliance, which is a point many NATO members have made.
Yeah, and that's part of why this has been a struggle for him to try to convince other countries to get on board. And their message has been, we didn't ask for this war. We didn't start this war. You know, you can't just expect us to show up and assist. And obviously the president feels differently about that, arguing that the United States has been there for allies for so long, they should return the favor. But again, their argument is this isn't something we're necessarily beholden to help you with. And remember, their reliance on oil from that part of the world isn't as extensive or significant as it is, again, for Asian countries and for Australia and that part of the world, which we have not yet seen step up and suggest that they're willing to assist.
The alliance relationship, it does, in fact, go both ways. Ed O'Keefe at the White House. Thanks very much.